welcome to African News 24 television news at 6 p.m. I'm ZAINAB OYENI. The headlines first. Police imposes 12-hour movement restriction on Federal Capital Territory ahead of Abuja Area Council election. INEC prepares to test new electoral law in Abuja. Council poll this Saturday. Police take TikToker who raised false alarm of rape into custody. Now let's dive into the main. The Federal Capital Territory FCT Police Command has announced a 12-hour restriction of movement across Abuja and its environs ahead of tomorrow area council election. In a statement, Police Public Relations Officer Josephine Ade said the restriction will run from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on election day and applies to all residents except essential service providers and accredited election officials as part of measures to ensure a peaceful, orderly and credible electoral process. The command urged residents to remain law-abiding and cooperate with security agencies deployed across the territory, while appropriate channels have been provided for reporting suspicious activities during the polls. Still on the election, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC is set to conduct the Federal Capital Territory Area Council elections tomorrow, alongside key by-elections in Rivers and Kano states, marking its first major exercise under the newly amended Electoral Act 2026. INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amukwiton said the FCT polls will engage 1.68 million registered voters across 2,822 polling units, while FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has declared a work-free day and imposed movement restrictions to ensure a smooth voting process. The elections will also serve as a practical test of reforms such as the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) and the election results viewing portal (IREV), designed to enhance transparency and credibility ahead of the 2027 general elections. The National Assembly has described the recently amended Electoral Act 2026 as credible, transparent, and inclusive, affirming that the changes will strengthen Nigeria's electoral process ahead of the 2027 general elections. In a joint statement, the Senate and House of Representatives highlighted that the reforms, which include the legal backing for the bimodal voter accreditation systems and the election result viewing portal, were enacted following extensive consultations with stakeholders to enhance transparency, voter participation, and integrity of the voting process. NASS urged political parties, security agencies, and citizens to comply with the provisions of the amended law to ensure peaceful, credible elections nationwide. In other news, the Department of State Services (DSS) has scheduled the arraignment of former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai on February 25, 2026, before the Federal High Court in Abuja. The arraignment follows charges relating to alleged unlawful interception of communications and breaches of national security. The charges, reported to include cybercrime offenses, come after El-Rufai was previously questioned by multiple anti-corruption agencies. The DSS said the arraignment is part of ongoing investigations into the matter, while legal observers note that the proceedings will be closely watched, given El-Rufai's high-profile political profile. Interpol and law enforcement agencies across 16 African countries, including Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, and Cameroon, have arrested 651 suspects in a major crackdown on $45 million cybercrime network. The Operation Red Card 2.0 targeted syndicates behind online fraud, including high-yield investment scams, mobile money fraud, and fake loan schemes. Authorities seized thousands of electronic devices and dismantled malicious digital infrastructure. While in Nigeria, police took down a cybercrime ring that had infiltrated telecom systems and operated fraudulent social media accounts. Interpol's Cybercrime Directorate Director Nail Jeton emphasized the importance of cross-border cooperation and urged the public to report any suspicious online activity. From cybercrime to security, police in Kebbi State have confirmed that 33 were killed in a deadly attack on a village in the state's rural area. The State Commissioner of Police Adewale Olokode said the victims were ambushed by armed attackers. The incident occurred in Dankade village, located in the Shanga local government area, when gunmen reportedly opened fire on residents, forcing many to flee their homes. Olokode said several others were injured, and the police, working with local vigilante groups, have launched a manhunt for the assailants. It described the attack as brutal and vowed the security forces will bring the perpetrators to justice. Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris has condemned the killings and called for calm, urging residents to cooperate with security agencies as investigations continue. Let's go on a short break. When we return, we will tell you about the 6-month review of export ban on shea nuts. And that's on business. We'll be right back. Welcome to business. The federal government has announced a review of the 6-month shea nut export ban imposed on August 26, 2025, following concerns about its impact on local producers, exporters, and foreign exchange earnings. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, said feedback from stakeholders across the value chain will be analyzed before recommendations are presented to President Bola Tinubu. Agriculture Minister Abubakar Kyari emphasized that the review will be objective and evidence-based, aimed at protecting jobs, promoting local value addition, and guiding informed policy decisions. Nigeria's banks and telecommunications companies have resolved a 4-year dispute over nearly 300 billion naira owned for USSD services. The Association of Licensed Telecommunication Operators of Nigeria, ALTN, confirmed. The disagreement, which involved major operators including MTN and Airtel, threatened the stability of the digital financial ecosystem. ALTN Chairman Benga Adebayo credited the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) under Dr. Aminu Maida for facilitating the settlement, which coincided with the transition to end-user billing. The new system, implemented mid-2025, shifts USSD charges to customers' mobile airtime, preventing double billing and strengthening transparency, revenue sustainability, and financial inclusion across the sector. On the foreign scene, former President Donald Trump announced on Thursday that he will order the release of government records on extraterrestrial UFOs and unidentified aerial phenomena. He made the declaration on his social media platform, Truth Social, following comments from former President Barack Obama, who said aliens are real, but confirmed no secret bases like Area 51 are hidden. Area 51, a restricted Air Force site in Nevada, has long fueled conspiracy theories about alien cover-ups. On Thursday, Trump told Fox News he hadn't seen proof of aliens and hinted he might declassify documents himself, while criticizing Obama for revealing sensitive information. Obama later clarified that while life in the universe is likely, there's no evidence aliens have visited Earth. A 2024 Pentagon review also found no proof of extraterrestrial technology. Still in the U.S., lawmakers in Florida have voted to rename Palm Beach International Airport as the President Donald J. Trump International Airport, in a move approved Thursday by GOP-controlled state legislature. The bill, which passed both the House and Senate with majority support, now heads to Republican Governor Ron DeSantis for his expected signature and still requires approval from the Federal Aviation Administration before the change can take effect. Supporters in the state legislature argue the renaming honors Trump ties to Palm Beach County, where he resides at his Mar-a-Lago estate, while critics, including some Democrats, have raised concerns about the lack of local consultation and the precedent of naming major public infrastructure after a sitting president. And now to sports. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has inaugurated the board of the Lagos State Sports Trust Fund, tasking members to strengthen sports development across the state. The governor charged the board to mobilize resources and deepen private sector participation in sports funding. We have more in this report.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has inaugurated the new board of the Lagos State Sports Trust Fund at Lagos House, Marina, urging the members of the board to deploy their expertise, networks, and professional experience to build a robust sports funding structure for Lagos State. The board is chaired by Eniton Oshodi, with Olaposi Agubiade serving as Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer. Governor Sanwo-Olu emphasized the need to channel resources into grassroots sports, school competitions, and divisional sporting activities. He also encouraged the board to attract private sector support, noting that some organizations prefer to contribute through independent structures rather than directly to the government.
I will implore that you also look for ways to deploy those resources in grassroots sports, school sports, and sporting activities that would encourage growth, from our various divisions.
Speaking on behalf of the board, Oshodi said the priority is to create sustainable funding pathways to support sports infrastructure and athlete development. He noted that while the state government invests significantly in sports, additional private sector support is essential for a megacity like Lagos. Oshodi expressed confidence that with the experience of board members, the trust fund would deliver both short-term impact and long-term growth for sports development in the states.
I think the most important thing is that we're going to have to create pathways, for raising funds to support sports, sporting infrastructure, sporting development. The government is spending a lot of money on sports, but it's never enough. Not in, a mega city like Lagos, 20 million plus people. We need facilities, we need to support athletes, and we all know the talents that abound in sports in Lagos.
On a global level, the world governing body for football, FIFA, has announced plans to lead a $75 million initiative to rebuild football infrastructure in the Gaza Strip following years of conflict. The announcement came during the inaugural meeting of the Board of Peace in Washington, where leaders outlined reconstruction efforts for Gaza. FIFA says it will help raise funds to rebuild facilities destroyed during the war between Israel and Hamas, following on pitches, a new academy, and a national stadium. Planned projects include community fields and a proposed 20,000-seat stadium aiming to restore sport and opportunities for young people in the region. FIFA President Gianni Infantino described the initiative as a way to promote unity and hope through football in a community devastated by conflict. Welcome to entertainment. The Ogun State Police Command has confirmed that social media personality Mirabel is now in its custody as part of an ongoing investigation into a viral allegation she made earlier this week, which she has since acknowledged was untrue. Mirabel, a TikTok content creator, initially posted videos claiming she had been sexually assaulted in her Ogijo residence, drawing intense public attention and calls for action online. However, in a recording that circulated on social media, she reportedly admitted that aspects of her initial accounts were false. Oluseyi Babasheyi, the state police spokesperson, said the influencer is being held while authorities probe the matter, adding that investigations will determine what charges, if any, should be filed. Edo State Governor Senator Monday Okpebolo has appointed acclaimed Nollywood actress Mercy Johnson Okoje as special advisor on public engagement and advocacy. The latest statement from the state government confirms. The announcement made by the secretary to the state government, Umar Ikilo, said Johnson Okoje's role will be to strengthen communication between the government and citizens by leveraging her public influence, communication expertise, and grassroots reach. According to the state government, the appointment underscores the governor's intention to deepen civic participation and enhance public awareness of state policies and programs, with the actress's leadership in humanitarian causes and community development seen as key assets for the role. And that's the much we can take at this time. You can get more on these stories and others on our website at africanews24.ng. You can as well follow us on all our social media platforms to stay informed and ahead. I'm ZAINAB. OYENI. Good evening.